So hi Matt, we are here at Roswell Pro Audio and you're going to show us some of your new stuff, right?
Yeah, thank you for coming. So this is NAMM Day 2, January 2024. This booth is Micparts and Roswell. So these are my two microphone companies. Micparts is primarily do-it-yourself kits. So if you like to solder, we have a whole line of opportunities: small diaphragm, medium diaphragm, and large diaphragm, transformerless, transformer coupled, and even a couple of tube options. And what we're highlighting at this show is our small diaphragm line. So we make actually three different pencil mics, and it's a little confusing because they all look the same. They all use this same housing, but we have one that's based on the Schoeps CMC5, so that's a transformerless design. And if you know anything about circuits and microphones, you know that transformerless mics tend to have faster transient response. They're more accurate, but you have to be careful because sometimes microphones that are designed that way can be harsh or clinical or sterile, and none of ours do that because that's often a capsule voicing problem. We actually voiced our small diaphragm capsule more like the Neumann KM84, which is the second of our three small diaphragm products. So we have one based on the Schoeps CMC5, one based on the Neumann KM84, and then the third one is called the Snare Mic. First, I'll distinguish, when I said KM84, I did not say the KM184, which is still in production now. That's a current Neumann product. We actually modeled ours after the older discontinued KM84, which is really revered for strings, acoustic guitar, drum overheads, things like that. So then, just a quick word about the Snare Mic. We've got it up here as a demo, and I'll also call out this gorgeous walnut snare that was loaned to us by our friends at Tama. So this is the Snare Mic, and it's different from the SDC84 in four ways. It's got some input attenuation, it's got a little bit of high pass filtering because you're so close to the snare drum that you get proximity effect, so you don't need a lot of low frequency bloom. And then it's got some output attenuation in the form of a higher turns ratio transformer. So a lot of technical words, but the point is that mic stands up to what is basically the loudest thing in anyone's studio, which is the snare drum from that far away. So that's the DIY thing that we're highlighting at this show.
So if you were a DIY user and you were interested in having all three mics, but you wanted to just try them out without, you wanted to do the build, and keep the same case, is that a possibility of just changing the kind of?
That's an interesting question. Not really. The microphone kit in this case, I mean, for the large diaphragm stuff, we do sell circuits kind of a la carte, and we have 4 or 5 of them. But for the small diaphragms, the SDC84 is completely self-contained, so you get the capsule, the metalwork, the screws, the wires, the circuit board, all the components, transform everything else. The capsules are interchangeable, so you could buy, one of each head amp and then an omni, a cardioid, a hypercardioid, and kind of swap capsules around. The truth is, most people don't need, both designs in terms of the head amps. You can pick one or the other, and they all work on the same things. They're just subtly different in terms of saturation qualities. So.
Brilliant. So they are available as kits as well as fully built, or?
That is correct.
Right, okay,
yeah, do-it-yourself kits or built. And then we should also talk briefly about the Roswell Pro Audio line, which was designed for people who don't want to solder anything together. They just want to plug it in and make some music. So in the last year or two, we introduced 2 new additions to our Mini K line. So in general, the Mini K product line are all large diaphragm mics. They're small in size. Your viewers are probably familiar with the Mini K47 because that's the mic that we came out with first, 2015 or so. So there's, I think, 5 mics in this product line now, and they all sound different. They all have different capsules, different voicings, different circuit designs. The 2 new ones are called the 47X and the 67X. So the X at the end indicates that it has a transformer in it, and it's actually quite a big transformer. When I built the first prototype, I was so excited to get it together and listen to it, and then I couldn't put the body on it. Literally, even now, it's kind of clipping right there a little bit. So we had to make a really thin mounting shim just so this thing would sit deep enough in the body that we could put it back together. But super high quality components. We've got our own custom Roswell electrolytic cap, some vintage film caps in there, precision resistors. Every JFET is individually biased. So, and then a really big output transformer. So the KX series, the Mini K47x and 67x, they are voiced differently. This is kind of a vintage 47 voicing, so it's got that bloom in the upper mid-range. And then the 67x is really unique. It's very flat through the entire range, a little bit of a notch, and I'm talking about a half decibel around 2K, which can help reduce nasality. And then another dip, about a dB around 6K, which can help combat sibilance. But the nice thing about that voicing is we're not doing a bunch of EQ in the circuit. In fact, we're not doing any EQ in the circuit. Instead, we just tuned the capsule properly. So it has a really nice, smooth roll-off above 10K. So you have more air than most 67-based mics. So you get that neutral tonality, but with more air. Compare that to most 87 clones, and they have this hard filter at 12 or 13K, and there's just no ambience left above that. So we don't have to suffer that consequence because we used a better capsule design. So anyway, that's the brief tour. So thanks for checking us out. You can see us online at roswellproaudio.com. On socials, we're at Roswell Pro Audio. And then on the Micparts side, at Micparts. And that's it. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.